Good morning, Year 10. I hope you're well and having a lovely day. For your do now, I would like you to write down 3 quotations from Love After Love from memory. For at least one of these quotations, do a quotation explosion to explore language and structure devices. Please could you write the date and title. The title is Morning Song by Plath. For this lesson, you'll need a printout of the poem, a pencil, and different coloured pens or highlighters. Do make sure the poem is stuck in securely before you move on. As an additional point, please do look back to the work you uploaded on Friday. As I mentioned before, I'll be leaving a comment for you once per cycle, and if you uploaded what I wanted you to upload, which was the reflection on Love After Love and poetry in general, I have left you a comment. 2 people uploaded just their general notes, and I haven't commented on that because what would I say? And one person uploaded a blurry photo, which of course I couldn't comment on because I couldn't read it. But everyone who commented on the poem and poetry in general, which is what I asked you to do, I have left you a comment. I recently discovered you don't get notified, so I thought I would just let you know to look back on Friday's work and read my comment. Also, please make sure you are uploading the work. I was quite disappointed that yesterday, I think only 5 of you uploaded your speeches. So I appreciate you may need some more time, but I would like something to be uploaded. So even if you're worried that you haven't finished everything or that maybe it's not the best work you've produced, please do upload something just so I know you're getting the work done. I am slightly getting a bit worried that fewer and fewer people are uploading their work, and 5 people, out of a class of 22, 24, isn't really a lot and isn't good enough really. So please do make sure you are uploading your work every day. Okay, so with that out the way, let's go on to Morning Song. Okay, so what can we work out from the title? What do we associate with the words morning and song? And what kind of tone are we expecting from a poem with this title? Pause the video to jot down your own notes. Okay, so the time between midnight and noon, the dawn, the start of a new day, new beginnings, and so on. A series of usually musical sounds produced by an animal and especially a bird. In terms of tone, something hopeful, uplifting, maybe the start of something. Okay, so let's read it through together. Morning Song. Love set you going like a fat gold watch. The midwife slapped your footsoles, and your bawled cry took its place among the elements. Our voices echo, magnifying your arrival. New statue. In a draughty museum, your nakedness shadows our safety. We stand round blankly as walls. I'm no more your mother than the cloud that distills a mirror to reflect its own slow effacement at the wind's hand. All night, your moth breath flickers among the flat pink roses. I wake to listen. A far sea moves in my ear. One cry, and I stumble from bed, cow heavy and floral in my Victorian nightgown. Your mouth opens, clean as a cat's. The window square whitens and swallows its dull stars, and now you try your handful of notes. The clear vowels rise like balloons. Give yourself time to read over the poem a couple more times, getting to grips with this content. It's okay not to understand every word or idea, just try and get a feel for it. Jot down some answers to these questions. What's the mood of the poem? Who's speaking? Who are they speaking to? And how do they feel? Pause the video to do that now. Okay, so the speaker. The speaker's voice in this poem is addressing a you from the first line. We know the you is a child. The midwife is our clue to this. They're the sense of the speaker speaking on behalf of someone else at times. We are. However, by stanza 3, the first person voice becomes clear and the role is identified. I'm no more your mother then. The speaker is the mother of a new baby. The we are they speak on behalf of is probably the father. Both are adjusting to their new roles. Plath was known for her confessional poetry, and this poem is thought to be based on her own experience of being a new mother in 1960. Motherhood in the 1960s was quite different to motherhood today. There was no maternity leave, so women had to resign from their job once they were pregnant. There was more of an expectation for women to stay home and look after the baby. Gender roles were very traditionally defined. The poem was seen as startlingly frank and honest at the time as Plath describes her feelings about her first child. So now you understand the speaker's situation and the tone, read through it again with a pencil in hand, ready to annotate your ideas. What can you pick out about how those feelings are presented, and what devices does she use to convey her feelings? Make sure you comment on form and structure and language. Also consider rhythm and rhyme and why the poet has made those decisions. Pause the video to write down your own notes. This time I'm going to take you through the poem, mentioning key details you could annotate. On this reading, please add to your own notes in pen, adding to your notes. There are clear stanzas in the poem, each of 3 lines, and yet there is no rhyme scheme or discernible metre. You could define this poem as free verse. Perhaps this is because motherhood is such a new experience for Plath. She feels her way through the poem, just like she is feeling her way through the experience. It could also show that she feels that she's not fully in control of this new situation, and so can't express her thoughts in a controlled way. Although the poem is called Morning Song, it is not structured like a song, and the only connection to singing is in the very last stanza. Although the structure on the page is very free, there is a clear progression throughout the poem. It starts off with the birth of the baby and shows the strangeness of the experience for Plath, but by the end, the reader feels she has bonded with the child and even has admiration for her. Okay, so let's do some detailed analysis. Love is the first word. The child has come from love, and this is important. So you've got the simile, like a fat gold watch. The baby's life is set going like a watch, with connotations of the heartbeat and tick sound. Like the watch, the baby is substantial, significant, fat, and valuable gold. This sounds quite violent. The midwife slapped your foot soles. But this was a common practice. Midwives would hold the baby upside down to drain lungs of fluid and slap the foot soles to startle the baby into crying, and therefore breathing properly. Took its place among the elements. This shows the baby has now become part of the world, and it shows the mother's view on the baby's importance. So you've got our voices echo, magnifying the idea of a baby that can cast a shadow on an adult. Again, words that show the scale and significance of the child. So here, new statue. The language is cold and removed. Statue, drafty, museum. The baby becomes like an exhibit that the parents are starting blankly at, unsure what to do. So you've got shadows are safety, indicates the baby's vulnerability, nakedness, cast shadows on the parent's safety. They are fearful. This stanza shares a really complex image that shows the mother is struggling with her new identity here. She acknowledges that the child is part of her, the reflection, but also suggests that she is gradually disappearing. Effacement means to wipe something away. The mother feels her own identity has been expunged or taken away or overwritten by the child's birth, perhaps. The I of the speaker and the role of the mother seem two distinct and discrete things. All night shows time passing. It emphasizes how there is little time for rest. Now it is just the mother and baby, with the mother listening to check the baby is alive throughout the night. So we've got the metaphor moth breath, shows the fragility of the baby. It suggests delicacy and care needed as the breath flickers. The flat pink roses may be a pattern on the walls, a blanket or a nightgown. They suggest something domestic and homely, rather than the museum of the earlier stanza. A Farsi moves in my ear. This is reminiscent of holding seashells up to the ear and straining to hear. Only one cry is needed for the mother to move. She stumbles, perhaps in speed or perhaps because her body is still recovering from the birth. The mother describes herself as cow-heavy with milk for the child in a Victorian nightgown. These choices perhaps show how she doesn't feel like herself, dressed in an unfamiliar way, feeling like her body is not her own. So you've got the simile, mouth opens clean as a cat's. So the child is like a mewing cat now. Animal instinct for food is shown. You've got the dawn coming. The night sky disappears. Notice the stars are dull, in contrast to the child perhaps. So you've got the word try, the verb try. The child is experimenting with her voice still. Everything is new. And then finally we get to the song. The mother sees the baby's sounds as song-like. Clear vowels help us to imagine the sounds. Balloons associated with joy, and that could be because of celebration at this sound. Please make sure you've made notes on all the annotations on the slides. So remember, in addition to annotating the poems, we're capturing key ideas in our books. Make sure your notes include reference to the speaker, at least three quotations, points on language and structure and literary terminology, and reference to themes. Pause the video to make your own notes now. Finally, spend the last 5 minutes making sure you know 3 quotations really well, using any of the methods on the slide. Pause the video for 5 minutes to do this now. Okay, thank you very much. We've come to the end of the lesson. I hope you enjoyed it and have a lovely rest of your day.